Hey guys, quick car video. This is Josh from strengthmod.com. I just wanted to discuss something that I think was really interesting. I was watching the Provokers Legacy session with Barker and Dice, and I kind of caught something in the flow of the game that I really liked and wanted to kind of point out to you guys. So I'm going to call it the check and thing. So what happened was Barker was doing something and a perception check or something was going to come up right in that moment, and they kind of both, knew that it was coming. So Barker described what he was doing, and then Matt, in asking for his perception check, he said something along the lines of, yeah, make a perception check as you dig through this or look through that. Now what's important about that is that he put the ask for the perception check at the front of the statement, which really helps the flow of the game, because if you put the ask for the check at the tail end of the thing, or if you ask for the check and then wait in silence, then you get a different result. That's why I call it check and. So, if I was describing somebody doing something, I'd be like, or if I was going to ask for a check while somebody's doing something, maybe they're like jumping across a river on some stones or something like that. I'd be like, make your acrobatics check as you kind of, you jump from one stone to the next stone, and then you find a path that you think is going to work well for you. And as you get to that last stone, and then I wait for that number. So between asking for the check, the person knows they have the check, they can start rolling the die, and that kind of really increases the flow and the immersion of the session. So I think that was really kind of interesting that he did it that way, and I don't know if he's practiced it that way, if that's something he's aware of, or that maybe that's just his natural flow with words. But I really like that from the DM seat, to do a check and. So ask for the check and add some details. That's really the important part, is that you're asking for the check in the front of it, and then you're adding some details into what's going on right afterwards. Now the player side of this is kind of similar, and this is described in the player's guide several times and in many different editions and things like that. So if you're doing an action where that you have permission to do all the action, essentially. So the standard action would be I walk up and I make an attack on the guy. Then the DM would say, okay, roll your attack. What you would rather do is kind of, as long as you're comfortable with the flow of the DM and that sort of thing, roll your d20, figure out what your number is, and kind of do the check and some details with it. So you say, with a 17, I run across the room, I kind of weave in between those two guys, and I bring my crowbar across the face of the zombie. So again, it's the same sort of thing where you do the check and, because maybe the DM has to check the AC of the monster along the way, maybe has to check the HP of the monster on the way, because maybe you're going to drop it, that sort of thing. But it increases the speed and the flow of the game if you put the number first and the description second. So that's my concept of check and. So you tell him your AC, or that you hit it, or what kind of check you're making, and then you describe the things that are going to happen, using words and language and things like that, while the mechanics are kind of going on in the background. So it's not, I swing my sword, okay, swing your sword, I got a 17, okay, that hits, now roll damage. So it can be a lot of back and forth, but if you do it with this method, both from DM perspective and from player perspective, the check and, first you give the number, or first you ask for the check, and then you give some details about the situation, it's going to increase immersion and flow in your game, I think. I hope this was helpful. Again, this is Josh from Strength Mod. We'll talk to you later.